highlight of his kit that we'll talk about a little bit later, but looking super
Cool.
cool. All right, Pawn, show him your ninja way. Go through the abilities here.
I go fast. Start off one more time.
Oh my gosh! This is so good. Gosh, we just need the anime tagline. Oh, it's like the finishing
really
move
fun
that
stuff.
the fight is over whenever he cranks that ultimate ability. That's super cool. All right, let's go ahead and get right into the abilities because that was a lot. But we have got the ninja info cards to break down the abilities. Let's start off with the passive. Shingetsu and Mangetsu. Pon, what's going on with the passive?
Yep, so his blades aren't just there for show. They actually are named and kind of represent different powers of the moon. Shingetsu is on the left, Mangetsu is on the right. And you'll see that when I actually hit with them, see how they're kind of glowing now? This means that they're empowered. Shingetsu kind of represents the chaos and uncertainty of night. And so when this weapon is augmented and glowing, it actually cleaves. So you'll be able to see here I do some extra damage. And it also restores some mana. When Mangetsu is empowered, it represents kind of like the illuminating nature of light, the kind of like piercing nature of light. And so it actually does bonus damage as well as restore some health. So you want to kind of get in there, activate your weapons, and then if you get to stay in combat and keep hitting, you get further rewarded for that.
Just want to confirm with you, Pon. Tsukuyomi is definitely going to be, he's an assassin, right?
Yes, he is an assassin. I should have mentioned that earlier. He is definitely an assassin. You'll find good success with him in the jungle, and maybe in the soul lane.
For sure.
Oh,
and the thing about assassins and ninjas, ninjas have a whole arsenal of tools that they use. So let's talk about the shuriken. And ability 1 is the Dark Moon Shuriken. What's going on with ability 1?
So ability 1 is Dark Moon Shuriken. He actually uses Shingetsu to kind of conjure it forward. It glows, and from the smoke of the weapon comes out the shuriken. You can see that you'll throw it out. So you can see the kind of shape of it. But when you hit a target, it sticks to them, and if you walk near them, you retrieve it. So you actually throw your shuriken, get in melee range of someone, pick it back up, and throw it again. The cooldown gets reduced by 40%. You'll also notice that each time I fired this ability, I have this new extra targeter. This is the single-use ranged attack. Your 1 and your 3 both do this. So after you use your 1, use it whether you hit or not, you get this extra ranged attack from the weapon. And this one, since it's Shingetsu's, will actually steal movement speed from your target. So when you hit someone with it, you can see that Odin's going slower, and I'm actually moving faster now.
Nice.
That's super cool. So just to confirm, you throw the shuriken, and then his next basic attack is kind of empowered and is ranged, right?
Correct.
Nice. All right, let's move on to the second ability and his second ninja tool, the Kusarigama. What's going on with this one?
Yeah, so for those who aren't familiar with the weapon, it's a kind of disarming weapon, which you'll see what it does. He actually turns his blades into the Kusarigama and swings it around him. You'll note that it has a left, right, and center targeter. It's the left, the right, and then the center. If you hit with the left and right, it'll actually disarm the target that you hit. And if you hit with the center final hit, it will do more damage and stun the target. So you can really use this to kind of get around, disarm the enemy hunter, and then stun the priority target if you need to. Also, if you're in the middle of like a team fight, you can hit people and kind of use this as a defensive tool so that they can't hit you back.
Super cool. I'm loving the targeter shapes in here. So hit on the both sides. Is it only a disarm on the left side?
Disarm on the left, right, and then center is stun.
Awesome. All right, let's go on to ability number 3, Silver Moon Caltrops. What's going on with this one? New targeter shape, first of all.
So yeah, we have a crescent shape. It's really neat. So in this one, the theming is, again, kind of like calling upon like the nature of like night and like what kind of lights up the sky. So he holds Mangetsu Loft, and it kind of explodes into a shower of stars that fall to the ground as caltrops. You can see here that when enemies walk into it, if they step over it, they actually are slowed and take some damage. So this happens on deploy, as well as when they walk through it. And then just like my first ability, I get this extra ranged single target attack. This ranged attack will actually deal bonus true damage. had to sneak true damage in there somewhere. So it actually does 5 plus like 40% physical power scaling as true damage. So you can use this to damage some tanks or just get some extra damage on squishy targets.
Nice.
And what's important to note here is if I make the enemy god stop moving, if I cast this ability, they don't take damage if they don't move. They only take damage if you move on this. So if you get trapped in this and you realize you're not in danger, it might be best not to continue stepping your feet onto the caltrops. Just a little unique touch to this ability.
That's super cool and thematic. All right, I think it's time for the big one, the ultimate ability, Piercing Moonlight. Pawn, can you please just fire it one more time and talk to me about what it does?
Yep. So you can see here that when I ult, I kind of like become this being of pure moonlight, and I fire these 4 projectiles, like basically giant laser beams that travel super fast. For every single target that I hit, they become marked, and I will dash through them in the sequence that I hit them. So you'll see here if I hit these 3 Odins over here and then cast to the left, I dash through all these first, and then I go to the other targets. I can hit them in any order, and I can have up to 12 targets that I can dash through. So you can see on these Odins over here where they're all kind of in a nice line, I only actually hit 3 of them. Stopped at 3, but I get to dash through them for 12 unique strikes. It's also important to note that you end the ultimate where your last target was, so you got to be a little bit careful. We've had a few playtests where someone's ulted me while I was playing them, and I just carried them back to my tower. So you got to be a little bit way to find someone that's out of position. You can do a lot of damage with this. Hitting the same target multiple times is quite a bit. It's also important to note that no matter how far away they get, you will dash to them. So in situations where someone tries to use a movement ability, you will follow them and hit them. So especially in some chaotic fights, you get some crazy distance going on this.
Yeah, because
I
like you
can
were
only
saying,
imagine some potential places. Sorry, go ahead, Clumsy.
it's all about that range poking, right? Because from this kit, other than the ult, you don't actually have any initiation. You don't have a normal movement ability. It's all about stealing movement ability and getting closer, and then finally using that ulti, right?
Yeah, when you're generally playing him, you're doing things like casting out your caltrops to disorient your opponents, using your followed range attacks to really whittle down their health, and you're just really looking for that key opportunity to go in with your ultimate. And when you pull it off, man, does it feel satisfying.
What would you say is recommended like ability order would be?
I tend to max the 1, just because it's pretty good reliable poke. Its base damage is pretty good. It's good for clearing things. And then after that, I've gone back and forth on maxing the 3 and the 2. If I feel like I can get in melee range and use the Kusarigama more effectively, then I level it. If I feel like I need to stay range because they have a lot of CC to potentially lock me down, I'll use the Caltrops. So there's a lot of flexibility there as well.
For sure. And of course, Tsukuyomi is an assassin, so of course he's going to be in the jungle role. Do you see any potential of him flexing anywhere else, or no?
The solo has some interesting use cases where you can use the 1 and get the cooldown back really quickly, but the mana costs are a bit prohibitive. We'll probably see people experiment in the solo lane, but I expect him to stick pretty closely to the jungle.
Cool.
And also,
well, is there anything else? Sorry, go ahead, Pon.
Yes, the art team. The art team, they had this kind of like this idea of like ninja, regal, royal, proper, precise. There's a lot of like buzzwords that were thrown around, and they did a really good job at like consolidating the art style, really making this character look so cool. The ultimate had it looked really cool as you dash around the map. Every single part of him had a lot of like tweaks that need to happen during development, and so I just want to make sure the art team has proper shout-outs, including this is a ninja run, and it looks cool. He's doing the ninja run.
All right, so that means the next Area 51 raid, we all cosplay Tsukuyomi, right?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Well, that is Tsukuyomi, and that is his base model here, but we also want to take a chance to show you guys a closer look at what his in-game models look like, as well as the recolors. So this is the base here. Got some nice ninja flips going on. And again, shout out to the entire art team. We've got the next one up. We've got a recolor coming, and it's Lunar Eclipse Tsukuyomi, I believe, and we'll have the card art in just a second.
Oh, it's so cool. All his recolor spoilers are super cool.
I know. So I believe we've got a voice pack line to go along with this one as well. So we'll take a look at it in game.
Miscreants, They trample order, spitting in the face of proper decorum. I will not sully the moon to shine on them any longer.
Definitely
Even in
loving
the
this
darkest
recolor.
night, my blades can sense your arrogance.
So definitely loving the kind of like the dark side of the moon with the recolor. And this is the Ascended
Oh, wow.
recolor. So you guys
Yeah.
will be able to get this one with the Season Pass 2020. This is probably my favorite one out of the bunch. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this one in game as well. But the black and red, of course, goes right alongside classic ninja vibes, and it's super dope.
And something that's really cool with these weapons is because they have that kind of contrasting style. These skins, as well as the legendary and golden skins, one weapon is basically like pure gold, and the other one is basically the contrasting color. So on the default golden one, it's like kind of like blue. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, these. It's just you get some really cool flavor with these weapons. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, this one looks super awesome. And oh yeah, I can definitely see the blue weapon in the front in the foreground and then the gold weapon in the back. Oh, that's super awesome.
Yep. Oh, it's so
That's a lot
cool.
of good potential. I
Black
like
and
that.
gold, my favorite.
I've just been fangirling through his whole development, and so that's not gonna stop.
Oh, definitely. Oh, and the diamond
Oh,
one.
nice.
Oh, so
Pure
good.
diamond
Yo,
blade.
the right side weapon almost looks semi-translucent on that one. That one's super
I wonder who's gonna be the
awesome.
first to actually get him to rank 10.
I know, right? We'll have to see. I wonder if there's a way that we can figure it out and like hit him with like a ninja prize or something like that. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
And of course, the golden one here for you guys. Super cool. All right, Pawn Clumsy, before we sign off here, what's your kind of favorite thing about Tsukuyomi and the process about getting him into